This is Operation Cat Rescue. Not really, but Frisky and Blue, yeah, I guess I should get this cat water. I had another video, didn't upload last night, I'll upload it. Anyway, I mean, I like animals and I try and help them out if I can, but I'm not a huge cat guy, but I don't let that affect helping them. But then this cat, I got a little extra oomph to help him because he's all alone. And mankind created this problem, domesticating these animals and being irresponsible. And that is the thing that makes me offer to catch this cat, which I could do. Do you hear those casters make that noise? And I started this up, Mary? Yeah, that's another reason you don't want this. Mary had an interest in buying this pickup, but I wouldn't do this to anybody. This thing's on its last leg. They say that only 11% of them make it to 250,000 miles. This one has 294. I know it needs ball joints, tires, brakes, and who knows what else. And this engine could fail any day. So I don't want to do it. What I think I'll do is probably give it to somebody. And I wouldn't want to give it to a friend because here's what happens. You give them this thing. I'm not going to fuck anybody on this. You give this truck to somebody, they're all happy, they drive it, and all of a sudden one day the engine seizes. They got to pay $300 to tow it somewhere. And it takes you about, God knows what you need. If you need a replacement engine, they're about $7,000 installed. So before you know it, you've got tires, brakes, ball joints. You've got $9,000 or $10,000 into an old truck. That's not counting the trans. Fuck, you see what I mean? So you got some poor fucker needs to get to work every day, or they have a kid that's not making fucking $300,000 a year, and you've spent all your money on something that doesn't run anymore. I'm not fucking doing that. So I'd rather just give it away for some teenager that really doesn't depend on it full time or something. I know how these deals work. It seems really good. I'd give it to Mary, but I don't want to do that to her. I'm not shitting you. I don't know what it's worth. Here's the really terrible thing. I could probably get $5,000 for it, which just is criminal. Now, I talk to people I'm telling this, and I tell them my feelings about this, and they tell me it's buyer beware. Yeah, fuck that. Nah, I know. If this was the Chevy Astro van, no fucking problem. Those fucking 4.3, that's one of the best engines ever made. I'd buy one of those with $300,000 on it, no problem, knowing that I get 150. And I fucked up there. I'd probably still be driving that if I'd have went and replaced the oil lines. Speaking of oil lines, those Toyota Siennas are terrible for that. I fucked up that Toyota with oil lines too. I didn't know those went early though. 2 times, the Astro van and the Toyota Sienna van, the oil line broke. And I was just lucky enough to catch it right when it broke. Pulled right the fuck over. Had it towed home. Started it up after the oil lines were replaced. Like, wow, I'm really glad I was watching. Yeah. Got about fucking 4,000 miles out of each one of them. It still fucks up the engine. You don't notice it right away, but it does. Just a momentary loss of that fucking constant pressurized lube. And you're fucked. But back to the 150. So I just don't want to do that, you know what I mean? I know this thing's about ready to really cost somebody a bunch of money. So it's not worth it. You're better off taking your money, and even if you have a payment, and getting something better of it. That 4.3 engine, that's one of the best engines ever made. Doesn't get the greatest gas mileage, but let me tell you, gas mileage isn't everything. Now Ford, the feds are on these automobile manufacturers all the time for increasing fuel mileage. And when you build a big ass pickup truck like this, the only way you're going to be able to do that kind of shit is to have smaller engines like 6s and turbocharge them, or you're not going to be able to even pull 1,000 pounds worth of shit. So you get these turbochargers, and this just isn't a good engine, this EcoBoost. Now you can say, what do you mean it isn't a good engine? You got 294,000. Yeah, I know. I won the slot machine lotto on this one. This is an anomaly. But normally, like the Astrovan, if the body hadn't been rusted out, I'd have bought a new engine. I didn't give a shit what it cost. Another 4.3 crate engine. Who gives a fuck what it cost? Labor, I don't care. On something that good's worth it. But one of these, I was just talking to a mechanic the other day that does engine swaps. And I said, what do you think of putting a new engine in? Because the body's good, there's no rust on it. He said, I wouldn't do it with one of those. He said that twin turbo EcoBoost fucking piece of shit. And then you do that, and then you still got a ball joints, you still got brakes, and you got the original trans. I don't know what a trans cost putting this fucking thing, probably $3,500. So all of a sudden you've got, you know, 10, 12 grand into a vehicle that's worth $6. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, buying cars now is a real problem. This fucking junk is out there. And in the old days, minus some, excuse me, factory fuck up. Let me just check some, minus some factory fuck up. You could, off my fucking coffee on there. Look at this shit, man. Fucking Alzheimer's is kicking up again. Motherfucker's still here, though. Yeah, goddamn. Cheers. I'd like to say it's an isolated incident, but it's not. Fucking forget shit constantly. I think I got fucking Alzheimer's. But anyway, back to the conversation. But even if you buy a new car now, they're a bunch of fucking junk. Piece of shit. These fucking, if you get a loaded fucking F-150, like the King Lariat or something, here's these jumbo horseflies. I even let these motherfuckers go. These fucking things are huge, sound like a fucking model airplane. Hit the road, bitch. Fuck out of here. I don't know why they come in here a lot, but they do. Yeah, good, he took off. But now you get a loaded F-150. I mean, a King Lariat or King, whatever the fuck they call it. I think you could put 75 grand into one. That's fucking insane, man. Fuck that. Fucking piece of shit. So I'm gonna get another fucking pickup. I'm already looking at pickups. Fucking crazy what they get for these goddamn things. Ford came out with a European version of a camper. It's called the Knuckle. And I was all excited about it, but you know, I was excited. I was down fucking around at Florida. I went to the McDonald's, you know, the hamburger place's World Convention down in Orlando. I took my old sister down there. And Ford was coming out with the Transit. And it's like, fuck yeah, man. I want to get one of those. I could kind of sleep in it. For some reason, I'm getting quirkier as I'm getting older. And I don't want to sleep in hotels too much. I just start thinking about all the people fucking on the bed and shit. And I'm not a clean freak or anything, but, you know, and I fuck around. I don't even watch TV. I don't even like TV. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting in this fucking room for $120 a night with this bullshit and a couple bottles of water and this big, thick fucking towel I don't like. I think, what am I doing in this fucking place? And the internet isn't worth a shit usually, so I just want to get something where I can sleep in my van. Yeah, I do. I'm going to sleep in a van this week, actually. Slept in one the other day. Because Marty's, the dog peed on the bed. They got an old dog that pees when he falls asleep. It went right through the mattress and all that shit. And his wife's a cleaning nut. So they only have one bed there, so I can't stay there. Now, I'm just, like, helping them out. Like, she hates driving, and I like driving, so I go over there, and that's why I go to Hilton Head. And, you know, they want to get me a nice hotel at the Westin and shit. It's like, fuck that, man, no way. It's not about if somebody can afford it. But to a guy like me, that's not nice. I wouldn't do it. If I wouldn't do it for myself, I wouldn't expect anybody else to do it. So I'm going to take that fucking van. I'm going to sleep in that fucker for a couple days. I kind of like it. It's that big old van I drove. Yep, I do. But back to cars, yeah, fuck, I'm looking around these used cars. Now, the 2021, the seats go all the way down. Now, that would have really worked out in high school and college. But I like the idea of that, but I'm not, you know, honestly, I'm not going to be like sleeping, but I'd love to find a van. Anyway, back to the Knuckle. Well, I was down in Florida looking at these, and I thought, man, this Transit's coming out, that is perfect. Well, as it turns out, the Transit, sure enough, it came over here. The American version's a piece of shit. Just a piece of fucking junk. Really is, man. Just Transit. Talk to any of these expediters, these guys that run parts and delivery services. Yeah. So fuck that. Well, that Knuckle is the number 2. It's the same bullshit junk engine. So I'm back to square one again. But you look at these used vehicles, especially pickups, it's crazy the money they're getting for them. Fucking insane. So I'd love to find like a van that I could like sleep in. But here's the thing, 99% of the time I'm just driving. I'm not sleeping in it. Now, is that worth getting one? Probably not. Which circles me back to a pickup. I can throw shit in the back, put a bunch of my cameras in the back. I want to be able to go to like Nebraska and North Dakota this winter and put some snow tires on and not worry about it with all-wheel drive. I really do. I'm gonna search out in some blizzards this year. No shit. I miss a good ass whipping in the snow. Really do. So anyway, back to this cat. Anybody wants this cute little cat, I'll catch a motherfucker and I'll take him to the vet and get him up to snuff. I'll deliver him to you too. Because I just feel sorry, little fucker's out here by himself. Now I buy him this, I don't know, 19-pound bag of food. Hey, if you're ever buying cats food, I learned this a long time ago, don't get them the cheap shit. I've seen starving cats not want to eat the cheap shit. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? You think they'd eat anything. They think that with vultures too. That's absolutely false. These black vultures do not want to eat rotten meat. No shit. So I get the 9 lives. I don't know what they put extra damn fish instead of sawdust into it or what. These are the guys that shoot their guns late at night. Right here. I don't really care. You know, these places are dying out where you can just go and get drunk with your buddies and shoot guns in the air. I don't really care. But I know it's these guys. You know, this area is like big for hunting camps. But that's slowly dwindling away with the fucking property. Now there's another 200 acres for sale. You know what I've been thinking about doing? This is how fucking insane I am. I've been thinking about buying this 200 acres, which I think I could get cheap because they just put a more cheaper. Still like fucking $650 or something like that. They put a moratorium on chicken houses where you raise these little chickens, which was stupid if you ask me, because this is a broke county. You need to take what you can get. And I'd like to just build a community of tiny houses and just, you know, let people like be able to live and not live like fucking rats in their years. Really, I'm thinking about doing it, but I don't want to be like managing the thing, and you know, I just want to like help people out. Maybe not tiny houses either, but a small house, you know. Let these fuckers live out their last days like I am, in a nice place. This guy over here, he's politically connected, big time, black guy. Nice guy. His brother down there is a fucking anesthesiologist. And he came from Crawfordville Public Schools. You know how unbelievable that is? God damn, and I haven't got a straight scoop on the Ellington House. You know, I don't know who bought that. I'm sure it's a timber company, but whoever burned that house down, it looks to me like it was done on purpose. Kind of sad, but it was you know, it saw its better days. So anybody can get this little tiger cat now. He's real skittish, of course. I don't know too much about cats. His sides are like flat. They look like squished in. He looks like, if you looked at him from the behind or the front dead on, his body looks square, not rounded. So I'll come over here and give him water. Big fucking deal. That's what you're supposed to do when you see animals in peril. I wouldn't even be talking about this except I'm trying to get somebody to take them. Cute little cat. I have a trap. I couldn't find the fucker. Of course, my garage still. I'm so lazy, it's unbelievable. I'm thinking about just hiring some strippers in short cut-off jeans, pay them $50 an hour to giggle and help me. I don't know what else to do. I just don't do anything hardly anymore. I guess it's not important to me to like be organized and fuck, I don't know. All I do is buy books, go out to eat, fuck around, and that's all I want to do. I'm thinking I'm going to be organized someday, but I might not. Just something happened in my brain. I get Debbie and Dave down here, man, be eating your damn lunch on a paper plate with a microscope. They'll come down here. Yeah, fuck yeah, I don't have my seatbelt on. You don't need to worry about it down here, because there's never anybody down here. This is what I like about this. But like I said, if you were older and you had kids and a wife, they hate this fucking place. Nothing to do. You got to drive your ass off for fucking anything. Fucking wild animals around. Women, like feminine women that like decoration, they fucking hate this place. You know, you got to just be a guy that... See, to me, this is what you have to have this kind of silence. You know, and if it was anything else, crystal clear water and what the fuck else ever, it'd be already fucking goddamn 5 stoplights between where I live and where I'm going, a fucking Starbucks. I've learned the hard way, as with everything else, that you're better off, this is my biased opinion, you're better off driving to the fun shit and living in places like this rather than vice versa. Let's see this motherfucker, he's never outside. I put a bunch of stuff out here to throw out and it looked like, I figured somebody'd take it, and sure enough they did take it. They took it. I knew they would. Now let's see his big pile of food. Yeah, fuck yeah. It surprised me this food lived as long as it did. It lasted as long as it did. I can't believe my coffee's still there. I do shit like that constantly. That's the first thing I think when I can't find my laptop if I go somewhere. Did I leave it on the roof? Fuck me, man. I'll tell you what I don't do that with, though, my porn collection. I know right where that's at all the time. No fucking around. Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. That little fucker eats, so I'll tell you that. Yeah, he does. See this, now we never used to use these things. This is how you, no traffic pickup here, no trash pickup here. You got to go to one of these things. And we never used to. Used to dump it at one of Marty's factories. But I don't like doing that either. Go way down there. I'd rather just throw it in here. So I do. Hope this plastic thing will work. want to put this back a little bit where the little fucker can see it. I think if I put it on the back of here, somebody won't steal my damn dog dish. Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. Yeah, who knows where the little fucker's at? He's probably under here. Yeah, I'll put it right here. There's all sorts of shit that eats out here. How you doing? Hey, you seen that little cat out here? There's a little cat. You don't want a cat, do you? Huh? You don't want a cat, do you? No. I've been leaving him food. I feel bad. It's just one little kitten. I just brought him water. But
I ain't never seen him. I probably don't throw trash out probably about every week and a half.
Yeah, I don't do it that much either. But I'm trying to find a home for him.
Oh, you don't stay right here?
Yeah. I live down there in Maliers Road. No, that one lady, you know, in downtown, but they're filled. She doesn't like cats that much either compared to dogs. Me neither, man. They cost too much.
My wife, she wanted a house dog. My sister-in-law, all them guys. When she got one now, that dog got to be about 12. I said dog years in what, every 4 years?
I forget what that is. I thought it was 7. Yeah, maybe it is 4.
I forgot. It might be 6.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was trying to figure it out. But she said her dog about 20-something years old, so I ain't know where it go.
Might outlive you.
Yeah, it's long.
Where you live?
Well, I live on 22.
Oh yeah, I go up there to Athens all the time.
I live on the far end.
Oh, okay. You got to come way down here?
There's some dumpster up there, but I'm going to town.
Oh, okay.
Over there by James, Randolph Shop. You know, get on Lineville Road like you're going back over here to where they ride them 4-wheelers.
Yeah, yeah.
Cut through instead of going all the way up.
Oh, okay.
At Randolph Shop.
Oh.
One before you get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Somebody bought that house on that corner. See, it used to be right there when you first turn off.
Yeah.
So that guy bought that place and fenced it in, and he changed somebody. They've been there about a couple of years now. They moved that dumpster.
Oh, okay.
Moved it up the road.
Oh, all right. It's going to get hot again this week. It was nice last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I don't know nobody want no.
All right. I'll get it.
See him ran down now.
I saw him last night.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a good day. The South. So I'll come back and check on that, but he does have some water now. I think I will see if the little fucker comes out. Friendly South. I was eating lunch yesterday at that Indian thing, and I ran into a couple really nice African American people. We talked about like race and shit. And they was asking me, they were asking me, is it different down here? It's like, fuck yeah, it's different down here. Yeah, it just, especially not so much like in places like Ann Arbor and shit like that, but like Detroit, fuck yeah, man. Yeah. And I never had any problems down there, but you could tell. I'd been places before where there's just like fucking tension. It's not like that here. And the Section 8 housing looks brand new after 25 years. Brand new. But I really met some cool people. You know, when I moved to college, I lived with black guys that I knew from a junior college. They were really good basketball players. The one ended up getting drafted by the Houston Rockets, the brother. That was cool. And then my best man was black at my wedding. I don't really say too much about it because it was so what. I was the best man in his wedding too. Yeah, Ebony and Ivory. I mean, I don't think it's like, who gives a fuck, really, right? It was a good time, but I don't give a shit. But you can still be a racist and like do shit like that. It doesn't like cover you. You know what I mean? Especially in this fucked up world. Crazy ass motherfuckers. Now down here, the fucking... I'm gonna see if that little fucker gets a drink, although I doubt it. It's not like food. Let's see what's up. If he gets a drink, I'm sure he won't. I've got my damn lights turned off to 0 so they're not on, like when it's dim. I don't know where he curls up, whether he lives under there or what. I'm sure I'm not going to see him though, but I kind of like to try anyway. Yeah, there's his water there. But boy, that's to me is just... I woke up thinking about this shit last night. It's No Country for Old Men, cat version. Put that shit on my damn mind. Yeah, if there were 6 of them out here or something, I wouldn't think half as much about it. But just the idea of a little fucking cat out here doesn't know shit, trying to eat, fucking doesn't know shit. The world's just one big fucking giant hassle to him. Yep. That's the way it goes. There's the Ellington house coming up here. Burnt that motherfucker down, man. I know they can do with what you want. Nobody's lived in it for fuck who knows how long, but still, like, sad to me. She was a school teacher around here, Mrs. Ellington. I'll tell you another thing that's on my mind down here too. Like, this is mostly predominantly black, which I'm fine with. It's great. I love the people down here. But if I was black and old Whitey's coming down here and he's buying 200 acres and he's fucking building new houses and shit, that kind of would make me like think, oh shit. It really would. I mean, to be fair. More questions than answers. See, this is all sustainable pine growth for pulpwood. This gets cut down, grows back up, cut down, grows back up, about every 15 years. Actually, it's the timber companies that keep this county going. No shit. Taxes. Here's the old Ellington house coming. There's that 200 acres right there. Most of it's clear cut. Looks like shit. Put tiny houses. Yeah. One nice thing down here, it's like you can get the skids greased and just do shit without problems. The neighboring counties, fuck, they'd have a fucking fit if you wanted to do that. Not down here. They'd be open arms. They'd probably give you a building permit on a napkin. Here's the old Ellington household. Sad. 4 fireplaces. That's when you need to heat the whole house with wood. Just a rubble. I'm gonna stack a lot of books today. Got Hilton Head tomorrow. Locke's Platter. That old Jewish guy that owns that must have went on Prozac. He's friendly as hell now. He used to be like super grouchy. I think this guy died. I haven't seen him in a long time, and his damn barbecue smoker is where his pickup used to park. Right there, and they got one bullshit light on, you know, so people think it's occupied. So, you know, he's got propane. Heat his house. Window air conditioners, they're all over around here. You know, it's weird. Somebody graded this part of the road, but not the lower part the other day, which is weird. Maybe they're coming back. I've been trying to get my address for 6 weeks. A cop's got to put the address out here, believe it or not. Musings. Cat Rescue 911. I'll catch that little fucker you watch. Wouldn't you like just to have a nice little kitty? Somebody said something about feral cats, like it's hard to make them house pets. Huh? Frisky did it. I've known other people that have done it. I don't know, but maybe, I mean, I'm sure it's not like getting a tamed one. I'll tame that little fucker down. I trapped a bunch of cats for spay and neuter program, and in the process trapped a bunch of other shit too. Raccoons mainly. Possums. These raccoons are smart. They wore themselves out trying to get out of there at night. They'll lay there dead with their eyes open like they're just like not gonna do anything, and then spring like BAM! Hit that gate trying to get out of there. Fawns are like that too, little baby fawns. You know, I worked at a rehab place. It was so fun, like feeding those with bottles. But they've got that survival instinct too. You'll behold a little baby fawn, fucker's like 5 days old or some shit like that. 10 days old. And he'll be drinking his fucking milk, and you'll be, oh, isn't this cute? And that son of a bitch will kick real hard. You know, because you're holding it. It's just, I think it's a natural reaction. And those hoofs, even when they're young, are like sharp. They're like brand new. They look like brand new everything, baby. And it wasn't uncommon for people to get like, you know, 15 stitches. Have to get your leg sewed up where that baby kicked you. Actually, we had a rule around there where when you were moving, like, even when they're real little, tiny, those things can run like hell. If one gets loose, you can forget about catching them. So we'd put it in this room. So if, you know, he got loose, you'd still have him inside a room. But we had a room there that when you were carrying them, you know, you're always conscious of those hoofs and that kick reflex, that you had to hold them up so they couldn't hit the floor if they kicked, because they had incidences where they kicked and broke their backs. It shows you how hard they kick even as a baby. You know, the person was holding them so the torso couldn't move away from the force, and it broke their spines. That's how hard they kick even as babies. That was so fun, dude. I fed bald eagles, owls, all this shit. I quit there because they just were killing birds left and right. I mean, just with their fucking ignorance and neglect. I couldn't take it anymore. I finally gave them an ultimatum and said, look, man, I told you fuckers to not have these fans on. You know, these birds are freezing to death, really, hypothermia, and they kept doing it. It's like, I just quit. Now, that didn't make the problem better. It's probably I shouldn't have done it, but... And the lady that ran it was kind of a control freak. Micromanaging and fucking shit. Drove me nuts. And we had all sorts of shit that was happening there all the time. People bring like fawns, these do-gooder fuckers, rather than just leaving them there. We'd have like 6 fawns in a thing, you know, in a cage. And one of these stupid fucking dumbass volunteers would leave the door open. We come in the morning, all the fucking fawns are gone. And we, you know, the policy there, one thing I give them credit for was to be honest about it. So when the people came back and wanted to see Bambi that they'd brought in the weeks before, we'd say, well, I hate to tell you this, but Bambi got away. And it's a fine line there, you know. You're not supposed to have wild animals in a rehab for display. But it's a fine line letting these people with money donate to you and letting them see this shit when they really shouldn't, just to keep the money coming in. The Humane Society is like that too. And I was on the board of directors at Humane Society, which didn't last long. Just a bunch of fucking stupid, incompetent motherfuckers. And I learned a lot, though, when I was there. As soon as those fuckers put me in charge of, like, the staff, I fucking canned almost all of them, including this big, fat, stupid, fucking know-it-all college professor that was a head of fundraising fucking crook. I got plenty of enemies up there, as you can imagine. Not as many as YouTube. But I told them all to kiss my fucking ass with a microphone on if they didn't like it. I'm sure they're still celebrating that I'm gone, but I gave them both fucking barrels. I'm not good in getting along with people I don't like, or I think they're stupid. And I'm sure I'm fucking stupid too. My wife told me I like controversy and I set people up. I'd have to agree with that. I think it's just part of just being a rhinestone cowboy. Da, da. At least I'm not having a good-looking 55-year-old woman fleece me for my last dime while I'm dying with no memory. I'm gonna sit on this porch while I upload my videos. There's something fucked up in this ATV. It's not going as fast as it used to. So you guys have a good day. I'm going to upload this video. Kick it. Find a home for that cat. Party. Let's rock.